Hello and welcome to QCTV's Live and Local here, the Andover edition. We are here at the Courtyards of Andover, one of the hidden gems. We're going to have a chance to learn more about the courtyards, and we'll have city staff along with some great venues and stores to check out as well. We are ready for this edition of Live and Local here on QCTV. Well, we're here at the Courtyards of Andover for this edition of Live and Local on QCTV, and I am with the general manager, Frank Panzer. Frank has been with the city of the Courtyards of Andover for the last since 2012. What a great venue! We got a chance to kind of find out a little bit more about it today. Thank you for letting us be here.
Thank you.
But more importantly, this has been a staple of Andover. I call it a hidden gem because it's hidden from the road a little bit, but it's a great venue and a lot of people have used it. I was just here a couple weeks ago for the Andover High School baseball tournament. What a fantastic event that was! Food was fantastic. So tell us a little bit about what the Courtyards are and give us a little idea of what you do here.
Sure. Well, first of all, thanks for saying that. It's always nice to get a plug on the good food. So I also think we have fantastic food, obviously. But yeah, the Courtyards of Andover has been here. It got built in 2000, so it's been here for a little while. Sometimes the building shows a little bit of its age, but the nice thing about the space that we have is you can do pretty much anything you want with the space. You can bring in anything you want. We have a bunch of stuff to help with decorating. There's decorators you can hire. You can transform the space into any way, shape, or form that you want for your events. So, like you mentioned, obviously we do school sports, banquets, all that kind of thing. We want to be involved in the community, but obviously our big heavy hitters are the wedding and the corporate events that we get to do around the holiday time, all that kind of stuff. So any event you can think of, we've hosted it here before for sure.
Yeah, and if you're seeing that this place is aging and all, I can't see it. You drive up and it looks great. You have a great walk in. Yep. We're on the dance floor, and I heard later on in the show that you're going to cut a rug. Is that
yes,
correct?
And you're all going to be very impressed.
That's
yes.
That's the way I thought.
The ambulance is on call, please.
Well, we've got the fire chief here.
Perfect.
He probably knows something about saving somebody with CPR.
Beautiful.
Great. So it's not just about weddings. It's also about you've got some other events. I know that you've had brunches here. Mm-hmm. You've had comedy shows.
Yep.
You've got a bunch of stuff going that's coming up this next fall. Tell us a little bit about what else is going other than just the private events.
Yep, so you hit the nail on the head. Come the fall, winter, early springtime, we really struggle for the wedding business and the corporate business. It's just not a beautiful time of year. A lot of people don't want to get married when it's snowing out. We do have the beautiful courtyard space outside. Little known fact, Courtyards of Andover, because we have a beautiful courtyard outside for the ceremonies and that kind of thing, we are not affiliated with the Marriott. Please stop calling and asking for a hotel room. We don't have any. But we do have the beautiful courtyard space, which sometimes we do just an open to the public event. It's called a parking lot pig out, where we will just roast a pig outside and have people come hang out for games, music, dancing, if you're able to. Again, not me. But that's just one of the many events we have. I mean, comedy shows. We're doing a huge game show later on this fall. We did it earlier this spring. It was a huge success. It's a family feud format. There's also some different renditions to it. That was a huge success. Local hypnotist Freddie Justice comes in and does that for us. So not a whole lot going on for the public through our summer months because that's our wedding time and our business time. But keep your eye on the website, courtyardsofandover.com. We put signs up all over town when we got stuff going on. A lot of fun stuff coming up. I do think we have a couple craft fairs this summer, so just check out courtyardsofandover.com for information on that and come join us.
And the one thing that if you have a private event here, and we've been here watching your staff, they work hard. They've got tape measures out. They're measuring the tables, making sure that everything is perfect for your event. So when you come in here, it's ready to go, and you just have to put out the decorations. Talk a little bit about what the setup is for you guys.
So most of the time, exactly what you're saying. When you arrive here for your party, most of the things are done except for your personal touches. Maybe you have centerpieces to add. Maybe you have some pictures of a graduate to hang on the wall. Maybe you're just bringing in your own dessert. Whatever the case may be, you show up and the room is pretty much ready for you to go. Add your personal touches, and then let us take care of everything else. That's the goal.
How far out can someone book, and how do they find out how to book something?
Yep. So courtyardsofandover.com, uniquediningcatering.com, because again, Courtyards of Andover is just a building. We are actually a catering company, Unique Dining Experiences, that runs the building, and we also cater off-site. So if you're looking for something, just some of that delicious food you were talking about, you can have that brought anywhere off-site in the state of Minnesota. In a couple weeks, I'm heading up to the Iron Range for a big fundraiser. So. 5-hour drive for a whole lot of fun. But yeah, just hit the website. There's contact links on there. There's phone numbers on there. Call the main line in the office. We will get someone to get back to you, absolutely. And then as far as booking, you know, we'll take reservations pretty far out, just because we know how important it is for certain people to have certain dates. We're not crazy, you know. If you called me tomorrow for a 2028 event, I might say, hey, let's take a beat and take a minute, you know. So we're not booking that quite that far out, but all of our weddings at a minimum are a year average of a tail of booking.
Okay, great. And you know, not only do you guys can cater for some of the wedding events, but you guys have the ability to hook up with florists and different
Absolutely.
Other people, specialty people for weddings.
Yep.
Correct?
So these ceiling drapings you see up here, this is by a company in Andover called Cornerstone Decor.
Okay.
They are phenomenal. Two lovely ladies, more of them involved, I'm sure, but two I deal with regularly. They come in and do this beautiful stuff for us. Same thing, florists, bakers, DJs. I mean, the list is endless of partners that we have. And everyone's absolutely willing to use their own friends and vendors and stuff too, but we just always want people to know that we have a list of reliable contacts to help make the day go well.
Yeah, and that's always nice because they know the space.
Exactly.
They know the building. They've
Yep.
worked with you previously and know how
Yep.
to get in here, and you have a trust built with them.
Yep.
And so that's great. And you don't want to steer any of your customers wrong.
Ever.
Yep.
It's just as terrible for me watching a day go poorly for a bride or a groom as it is for them, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, of course it's worse for them, but I feel awful. That's not what anyone's goal is here.
Yeah. So tickets for the game show, the Family Feud type
Yep,
deal.
and all the comedy tickets, all that stuff will be on courtyardsofandover.com, right under our events tab, right on the website.
Okay.
Yep.
You had mentioned UDE, or the unique dining catering. The caterings, you'll go anywhere with that. And
Anywhere.
what's the menu like with that?
It's pretty much customizable. I mean,
Okay.
we literally have people call without even ever seeing our menu and build their own menu. Now, of course, we have our set menus available on uniquediningcatering.com, udecatering.com. Those are our set menus, our very popular menu items, our most sold kind of a thing.
Okay.
But our menu is fully customizable. I mean, we have excellent chef in the back and an excellent kitchen team in the back who's really willing to take on any challenge that you want to present to them. Now, the best thing about them also is Chef D will look at me and say, hey, let's not, you know, this is not going to be successful for them. So we're not here to just say, yes, we'll do it and hope it goes well. We're gonna be honest with you. We're going to tell you if we can or you can't, but we'll really help you kind of build that perfect menu that you're looking for.
Oh, that's great. And speaking of perfect menus, there's you guys have started something new here at UDE, and it's a meal program that you can come and pick up your meal for the week or for your office.
Yep.
It's custom packaged. I took a look at it. It's phenomenal. Tell us a little bit about that.
So UDE Express is what it's called, and you can order as many or as few or as many of these as you'd like. And this is how all the meals come in these containers, microwave safe, and you get them delivered to you or you pick them up here. So, for example, we have a company that we take, I believe, 62 every single week for the 5 or 6 gentlemen that work in the office. Each of these guys get 5 or 6 of these handed to them, and that's their lunch for the week. So they have them in the fridge all week long at the office. Some of them are cold. This one I'm holding right here is a strawberry vinaigrette salad. Delicious. It's got steak on it. If we weren't on camera, we could both take a bite right now, but maybe later. So these just come to you as is. You take one out at a time, pop it in the microwave. Like the salad, you obviously would just eat it straight out of the container. But it's strictly just a time-saving. Let us do the work. Everyone's at home cooking food. Everyone's picking up groceries. If that's not your thing, if that's not your forte, give us a call. Place your order online. Come pick up your meals. They're wonderful. The reviews we've gotten so far on this very limited run is fantastic.
Now, and we had talked off screen before. You had mentioned that even the nutritional values and can you get anything gluten free? And
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. So if you go to the website udeexpress.com or if you go to udecatering.com, you can get there through there. There's an entire filter system where you can take out, hey, I don't want to see any of the options with meat. I don't want to see any of the options with dairy. I hate mushrooms. Get the mushroom options out of here. So you can filter it all through that way and pick the items that you really want to try.
It's like going to a restaurant and being able to customize your own order.
Exactly.
That's fantastic.
And the kitchen's not going to be mad about it, is the difference. But I do have an offer for everybody paying attention. If you head there right now and use the promo code 2FREE4ME, the number 2, free for me, that'll give you 2 free meals, no taxes, no fees at all. You can literally just pick up 2 free meals right here at Courtyards of Andover. So head to udexpress.com, 2 free for me.
Well, you kind of answered my next question. How do we get in touch with you? And you've got that perfect. So
Yep.
so great. Anything else you want to share with the community?
You know, I just want to put out there that this place is amazing, and I was saying earlier about how much I've been here since we started here in 2012, and I stick around because of the people. Obviously, we care about the events, and I feel great when an event goes well. I just had a grandma this last weekend grab me at the wedding I cooked for, and this is some of the best wedding food I've ever had. Like, it never gets old hearing that, and that's incredible. But the people I work with, the people here, the staff here at Courtyards of Andover, is really what makes this place special. We've got, I can't even count right now quick off the top of my head how many staff we've had coming up on 10 years or for over 10 years now that have been a member of this staff. So they know what they're doing. They care about the community. Most of them live in the community. You know, it really is the people, amazing food, but it really is the people here too that make this place special.
Oh, great. That's great. Well, Frank, thanks again. Great facility here, and thanks for your passion and helping out the Andover community.
Appreciate you guys coming and joining us.
Yeah, you got it. Great. So the Courtyards of Andover, great place for a wedding. Now, you need flowers and you need some plants too. So the one place that I would look at is the Sandhill Nursery and Greenhouse, and we were there just a couple of days ago to check it out.
The moment I stepped into one of Sandhill Nursery's greenhouses, I was immediately struck by how stunning these plants and flowers are.
We do have a couple different varieties of begonias. These ones in particular, this is a escargot. If you look closely, it kind of looks like a snail shell, hence the name. And then this is another variety of begonia, it's black sky. Both of these we do sell as annuals. However, a lot of people have great success with these as houseplants.
For the past 2 years, Sandhill Nursery has been a staple in Andover, Minnesota. Today I was hanging out with head growers Jacob and Zach, who after enlisting in the Army and attending college for greenhouse management and horticulture, they are now the head growers at Sandhill Nursery and Greenhouse.
So we do offer a pretty wide variety of plant material, everywhere from fresh produce and cut herbs, all the way to potted herbs, vegetables, houseplants, bedding plants like annuals. We do have a decent selection of perennials, which we're hoping to expand in the future. We do like to offer the rare and exotic varieties that you're not typically going to see elsewhere, like some of our houseplants and annuals.
Our goal is to be like a one-stop shop for people, so we do a lot of herbs and vegetables, and then we also do some annuals and perennials. We do a lot of houseplants as well. Our goal is to offer like an organic source of herbs and vegetables to the community and locally grown product, whether it's from annuals to herbs and vegetables and perennials and houseplants. We try to come at everything with a birational approach rather than something where we just spray everything with chemicals and hope for the best. So we hope that our customers appreciate that and notice it in our product when they like how it looks.
Jake and I, both of the head growers, in the past, we had worked for the Deans. We started when we were 12, 13, maybe 10 years ago or so at this point. We did leave and go to the Army temporarily in 2015. Once we had gotten back, it happened to be that we were going to school at Hennepin Technical College for greenhouse management and horticulture, so it lined up fairly perfectly for us to take over the operation.
By the time you are seeing this, Sandhill Nursery has most likely closed the storefront for the season, but you can find them and their products all summer long at local farmers markets.
We do participate in farmers markets. We're hoping to add more markets in the future once we have more resources and availability for that, but as of right now, we do the Anoka Farmers Markets. That's going to be every Wednesday. The Elk River Farmers Market is every Thursday, and then we're at the Minneapolis Farmers Market off of Lindale, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
We're back here for Live and Local, the Andover edition, and we are joined by the Fire Chief, Dennis Jones. Dennis, thank you for coming back and being part of Live and Local again. Before we get going, I had somebody hand me some information about something that your team did. You know, in late April, you guys were just given an award at the city council meeting, but in late April, you guys came across a fire, and your team just did a wonderful job with it. Can you kind of tell us what happened and how your team jumped into action with this?
Well, certainly. Thank you for having me again. I like to be here. Yeah, it was the last part of April. We received a phone call about 0700 in the morning of a dwelling fire with entrapment. So that meant a couple people were still inside the dwelling. It was a team effort. The Noel County Sheriff's Office are a great partner of ours. We work well hand in hand. A couple of sheriff's deputies and I were first on scene. We arrived to a fully involved single-family dwelling, and reports were occupants were still inside. So the first few minutes, it was myself and a couple of sheriff's deputies without a fire truck. So trying to set up what we needed to do and where to go. Luckily, a couple more deputies, the deputy fire chief showed up. We were able to make entry and rescue the baby. It's a 9-month-old baby from its crib in the nursery. The mother was able to get outside. In fact, mother was outside trying to get into the nursery from the outside window. So quick thinking by our sheriff's deputies, they were able to grab a little step ladder in the garage, and our deputy chief was able to scale the ladder and go in to make a quick grab. So very fortunate, and our great mutual aid partners from fire departments around. It was a big team effort, and we had 8 or 9 fire departments helping to extinguish a fire, set up rehab, and do patient care. So it was really a team effort.
What a phenomenal story. And you say it's fortunate. Well, it's fortunate because of the training and skill that you've allowed your team to do. And I think the City of Andover has already given your team an award, but it's just a great story and really says a lot about your leadership.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Right. So we're in the summer months, and this is the time of the year where, especially the next week, we're going to have fireworks. We've got other stuff going on right now that can keep you guys real busy. What kind of things can we do to try to minimize the calls?
Okay. Well, summer is typically a busy time of year for us. A lot of outdoor activities, bicycles, e-bikes, skateboards, electric skateboards and everything. So a lot of people are out and about. So we tend to get a lot more activity injuries, if you will, right? With all the summer activities, we have fireworks coming up, recreational fires, burn permits and things of that nature. So basically, you need to be careful. The message we've always given out to little kids, don't play with matches, don't play with lighters. Know that fireworks is legal. If you're going to use it in an appropriate manner. Try not to mix alcohol and fireworks. Again, just make sure that the conditions around you are not extremely dry. The last couple of weeks, we haven't had a problem with dry weather. But again, burn permits and rec fires are kind of limited to what the DNR sets forth as far as when it's good to burn, recreational fires or legal burns. So just be aware of your surroundings. If you're going to have a rec fire, make sure you have your extinguishing agent available. Make sure it's 25 feet away from any combustible materials, like a deck or your fence. And make sure it's clean wood like you would burn in your fireplace. We don't put tires, cardboard, things of that nature in our rec fires. And like I said, just need to be mindful.
Yeah. So with these summer celebrations, we're not even really to that yet. You guys have been pretty busy.
Oh, yeah, we've been very busy. Like I said earlier, summer we seem to get an uptick in outdoor activities. So people, like I said, skateboarding, rollerblading, riding their bikes, going for hikes on the many trails that Andover and Anoka County have to offer. So it kind of keeps you hopping. Yeah. No day is the same.
No, well, that can be good and bad, right?
Yes, exactly.
So what's new and happening with the fire department?
Well, we have plenty of things happening. This year, we were able to hire 11 new paid-on-call firefighters. 6 just graduated from the academy here a few weeks ago. We're starting EMT school in August. Today, in fact, I just made job offers to 3 of the 5, and they've accepted, and they start the fire academy on July 8th. So we're very fortunate with our recruiting and retention efforts at this point in time. We have a new fire truck that's ready to begin construction in the first week of July, or second week of July, with deliveries sometime in September, October. So we have a lot of exciting things going on. We're also reviewing specifications for our new grass/rescue rigs. We're combining some of our fleet to, again, lessen the number of vehicles that we have to maintain and increase the capabilities of units so we could be dual purpose units. So we have a lot going on.
So I know the last new piece of large equipment you got, I think, was 2020, 2021?
2021, yes.
Yeah. So and that one's housed right in station number 1, right?
Correct, yes.
So, which is right on crosstown. Recruiting efforts. So you just mentioned that it's great to hear that we've got some new recruits coming through. Still some spots available?
Yeah, absolutely. We're always accepting applications. We'd like to get half a dozen more if possible. Like I said, if anyone's interested, feel free to check out the city's website, and applications are there online. If they have any questions, they can call the firehouse, and any one of us will be happy to answer any questions.
Oh, good. The one of the things is you've been a fire chief here and in other spots, and you're an experienced, a career fire guy. What's like the favorite part about being the fire chief of Andover, or any spot in any time in your career?
Well, I think specifically, the thing I love the most about being fire chief is watching the team build and grow and evolve, right? My previous fire chief brought the skill level and service level up from where he was, the previous chief. Now I'm taking what the previous chief had, I'm bringing it a step further. And when I retire someday, the person that takes my spot will move the department further, again, to meet the growing demands of the city. So that's exciting, but it's kind of a core value too, right? It's, I was brought up in a service family, and this kind of falls within my, my passion, if you will. And this is where I started 36 years ago. So it's kind of nice to do a full circle. And I've worked in Coon Rapids and St. Paul, and come back around and hopefully finish my career here. So.
Yeah, well, that's great, and you can absolutely tell it's part of your DNA.
Yes, well, thank you.
Absolutely. As we look at trends right now, is there any trends out there that are happening with some of your calls at all that you'd like us to take a little closer look at?
Well, ironically, this month we're on a trend to be the busiest June in our history.
Okay.
So we're pushing about 180 calls so far this year, or this month, and that's pretty busy for a paid-on-call fire department. Trends, I think, with the Canadian wildfires, we're getting a lot of smoke down here in Minnesota. We're having a lot of elderly with breathing difficulties, people with COPD, asthma, things of that nature. So we're seeing a lot of breathing difficulty calls. Sometimes, with what's going on in our society right now with the politics and civil unrest, we get a lot of, anxiety or mental health calls. And, so that's been keeping us busy as well. And ironically, this is probably the busiest dwelling fire year that we've had in many, many years. So it kind of ebbs and flows, right? Yeah. Some days last week we had a day where we had 14 calls, right? That's keeping you busy. Maybe 2 or 3 days later, we only have 5 or 6. So it kind of varies. So that's just the nature of our business. So
yeah. Well, we appreciate you being part of Andover. And anything else before we wrap up that you'd like to talk about?
Well, again, I always like to talk about the hard work and dedication that the firefighters put in every day to serve the citizens of Andover. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our appreciation for the support that the city residents give us and the city council and city staff gives us. It's a team effort, right? Fire department, public works, parks and rec, we all provide a service to the community, and it's great to be part of a team that we get to serve, a fine city like Andover and its residents.
Yeah, it's a great partnership, and thanks again for your leadership with our fire department here. Yeah. Well, coming up, hey, if you're a senior citizen and you're looking to downsize or possibly move to a real state-of-the-art facility, we have a new facility just getting constructed here in Andover. It's called the Crosstown Landing.
really honored to be here today to welcome all of you to this groundbreaking celebration as we add to the J.A. Weedham and Silvercross portfolio. You know, you can design, create, and build the most wonderful place in the world, but it takes people to make that dream a reality. After many months of working with key city officials, Cass Wilson Architects, and Weiss Builders, it's now a reality.
Their reality is a designed community that will offer independent living, assisted living, and memory care, with a focus on wellness, hospitality, and personalized services for senior citizens.
The mission of the J.A. Weedham Foundation is to develop and utilize the resources that we have to positively change and improve people's lives. So these 175 units of senior housing, independent living, assisted living, and memory care will achieve that mission. And also it's going to free up a lot of single-family homes for new families to move in to the community and then retain seniors in your community as well. So Weiss Builders, they're going to build this thing and have it done and ready for us to go in 20 short months. So thank you.
Look around, I was here back when I had black hair and we started to put a purchase agreement here, and you can see that things have finally taken shape. Often they say if Gould gets it done before he passes, we'll all be in good shape. But, you know, talk to the fact that Jamie brought it up too, that we kind of, being within the community, that this frees up homes for younger families to move in. Seniors that have lived here their entire life get to stay here. And I've seen it in our other properties and other communities. It actually works. And I look forward to that here as well.
City Council member Scott Shue also spoke about the long-awaited project.
For some time now, we in Andover have recognized the growing need for high-quality senior living options that allow our community members to remain connected to the place they call home, close to family and close to friends. Crosstown Landing will answer that call, offering a full spectrum of living options, including independent living, assisted living, and memory care. It will also provide a welcoming and modern setting with key features such as wellness and fitness programs, restaurant-style dining, and engaging life enrichment activities.
As you can tell, construction is underway, with an anticipated opening in late 2026.
Welcome back. I'm joined by Jason Baumunk. He is the operational manager for the Parks and Streets here in Andover. What a great time to have you. We've had you on a bunch of times during the winter and talked about snow removal and some of the new equipment. We get you in the summertime now and talk a little bit about what's going on. So let's start with the parks. What's going on with the parks?
Yeah, so busy time of year for Parks Department. Beyond the mowing and everything else, we've got some new additions going on in the parks. So probably the biggest addition we've had this summer is a reservable shelter at Pine Hills North Park. So it's kind of our first reservable space in Andover. We've had a gazebo at Sunshine Park that really is just a roof. It doesn't have any amenities with it. So this will be available to the public. It should come online pretty shortly. But it has a small kitchenette, perfect for grad parties, birthday parties, things like that. A couple bathrooms and sits up in just a beautiful park. It's a very natural setting behind it. It's turning out great. So that's been an exciting addition this spring.
Yeah, it is a beautiful park. It's a great green spaces, and Andover has just outstanding green spaces. Let's talk about your team. We talked about equipment before. We never spend any time talking about your team. How many crew members do you have, and what are some of the things that you and your crew do?
So in the Parks Department side, we run with 7 staff. So those 7 staff take care. We have about 80 parks and spaces and open spaces that we have in Andover. We mow and maintain about 60 of those every week. So between our 7 full-time staff and this summer we have 5 seasonal staff right now. Just a lot of keeping up on mowing, weeding, trimming. Then on top of that, they get into a lot of projects like Fields of Winslow Cove East Park. So that's off Prairie Road in the new Lennar development. A new playground and actually a new park went in this spring. So a lot of the behind the scenes on that is the grading of the site, putting in irrigation, prepping the site for the playground. So a lot of projects like that. So it's an interesting position, and it keeps them very busy with the amount they have to take care of.
So I would imagine with the rain and the heat we've had, mowing is just trying to keep up with mowing and trimming has got to be a little bit of a challenge.
Absolutely. It's most of these parks, the athletic fields especially, get mowed twice a week. So two guys, that's pretty much all they do 40 hours a week is keep up on the athletic turf. We have another crew that follows them around, does more of the trim mowing, small mowing. We call them our mow crew. So they run around a couple zero turns, and a lot of the seasonal staff help with that. So yeah, it's a big endeavor, especially in a rainy and somewhat perfect growing season for grass this year.
Yeah, you're right. Let's switch over to roads. One of the projects you have going is to help solve the Andover traffic jams that happen around the high school and on Crosstown. You've got a roundabout going in. Talked about a little bit about, it started the day after high school. I got over. I mean, it was timed perfectly. How was it going? And kind of tell us about some of the other projects you have going on.
Yes, that's been a long time in planning, and that very intentional to start the day after school ends, with the hope that it's going to be done the day before school starts up again. Is try to minimize that impact to the citizens as much as possible. So that's a joint project with Anoka County, and actually was funded through federal funding. To improve the safety, not only for the traffic, but the pedestrian crossings. That's one thing people don't really think about a lot with roundabouts is they slow traffic, they calm traffic, but it also gives pedestrians a very safe way across. Gives them a very small space to get across, and then they have like a safe harbor in the center while they wait for the next lane of traffic. So very nice addition. I know it's an inconvenience right now, but the one across town in Nightingale, and then there's one just up the road we're doing at the same time at Veterans Memorial Boulevard in Nightingale. So, yeah, those projects are going well, even with the rain. They were in there right away, and surprising how fast they're moving through that. So that's good.
Well, I live in the neighborhood right behind it. It's been awesome to be able to get out of the neighborhood with no traffic. And I would imagine with that roundabout, that'll even help. That'll help a little bit more. Now, with the roundabout, we have we're going to cancel the Fun Fest parade this year, but the Fun Fest is still going on, right?
Yep, absolutely. So the only thing down is the parade this year. They've redone the course for the 5K, so they're still going to do that. But really, it's just that parade. There's just no good way to shut down any more roads to host a parade this year. So the committee made the decision a while back not to host that parade. But yes, Fun Fest is on July 11th and 12th, and yeah, it should be. We're already prepping for it behind the scenes. So.
Well, last year the food trucks and it seems like the food trucks gained by about 5, and the food vendors fantastic. The Lions and their beer gardens, and all the other events that go on between the yoga, the 5K, and it's just it's so much fun to be part of. There's some other upcoming events, not just Fun Fest, but some other upcoming events happening in Andover. Kind of talk about what else we have going on.
So we do have a movie in the park scheduled at Sunshine Park, August 1st. They chose to show the Minecraft movie this year. It's a Friday night at dusk, which is usually right around that 9 o'clock. So yeah, that'll be an exciting one. That's been a good turnout most years. It was a little cold last year, so it was a little down. But yeah, we're hoping for good weather and a big turnout for that. So.
And mosquitoes are optional, right? This year.
Absolutely. It's also been a good year for growing mosquitoes. So the Metropolitan Mosquito Control District has been busy and actually utilized our parks to run their helicopter operations out of. So, they try to get a handle on them.
Good. So one of the things that Andover residents can help out with is adopt a park and adopt a street program. I don't know anything about that. Tell me how I can help out.
Yes, so if you go on our Public Works page, either in the parks or the streets section, there's a link to our Adopt a Park program or Adopt a Street program. Basically, we ask residents twice a year to pick up the area that's assigned to them or that they chose, and Public Works staff will go out and pick up the garbage bags or whatever debris they collect. We do have a few open parks available. The streets are almost always full, but we do have an opening on Prairie Road, just north of Andover Boulevard. So that section is actually open right now. So if someone's interested in adopting that, reach out to our Public Works Administrative Assistant, Daniel Lensmeyer, or go on our webpage. All the contact information's there. So,
what kind of effort do you have to put in?
Really, most people keep up on it pretty well, and it's probably an hour or two twice a year. It's really minimal effort, but with the amount of parks, the amount of miles of streets, it really that resident involvement really helps keep Andover looking beautiful. So.
Yeah. There is not only the green spaces, but we've got 4 nature preserves, correct?
Yep.
What is your favorite?
It's tough. I actually like Dalsky because it's quiet. So it's right up in the northeast corner of the city. It's one that doesn't get utilized a lot, and there's not a lot there right now besides some walking trails, which is what the nature preserves are meant for. But that one is kind of the quietest one, and probably the one I've spent the most time in personally. So I really do like the Dalsky open space up there.
Oh, good. Anything else about Andover you'd like to communicate?
Yeah, just you're talking about construction and living in the neighborhood right next to the roundabout projects. I know they're an inconvenience to people, but the biggest concerns we get are people that live in the neighborhoods where cars cut through. So we get a lot of calls about people rushing around the construction, kind of stopping at stop signs and not fully looking, and we've had a lot of near misses. So just really ask people to be patient and be considerate to the people like yourself that live in these neighborhoods that are affected, because they're seeing a lot more traffic. And rolling a stop sign and hitting another car or a pedestrian or something is really not worth the couple seconds you're going to save. So just really appreciate people's patience and understanding, and try to be very considerate to those neighborhoods affected.
Yeah, well, that's always great to hear. The safety is, and you're right, the traffic has increased dramatically.
Exactly.
So, well, again, thanks again, Jason, for being part of and joining us today on Live and Local. It's always great to hear from you, whether it be winter, summer, spring, fall. You and your department just do a great job.
I appreciate that, and thank you for having me back again. So
anytime.
Yeah.
So good. Well, what Jason was talking about with the 4 nature preserves, my favorite is Martin's Meadow. We were able to take some time and go out and take a look at some of the green spaces here in Andover.
The City of Andover has 4 unique nature preserves throughout the city. The preserves were purchased through a $2 million bond referendum in 2006 that Andover residents voted on and approved for the purpose of preserving natural spaces in Andover. The city's nature preserves are maintained by the Andover Parks and Rec and Natural Resources departments. We had the chance to meet up with Cameron Kaitone from the City of Andover to learn more about the history of the preserves and how they are maintained.
Martin's Meadows was our first purchase back in 2009. That's up in northwest portion of Andover, right on the Rum River. Then we have North Woods Preserve, which is actually not far away from this one, right off 161st Avenue. And in Mapleview Preserve, that's where we're at right now. And then lastly is Dalsky Woodlands, which is in the far northeast corner of Andover. And that is adjacent to a DNR land, wildlife management land right to the north. So that's a unique feature up there. All the preserves are approximately 40 acres in size and have a lot to offer for wildlife and for residents, for aesthetics and enjoying nature. We have a nice trail network in all of them, and they're a nice place for folks to go and enjoy. Yeah, it's very important for us to maintain these for the residents, for safety and for access. We understand and appreciate that the residents paid for this land ultimately through the referendum. So it is our job to, again, maintain the access for maximum enjoyment and safety for our residents. First of all, we want to make sure the trails are good, and good for walking, mowed and stable and well graded, so folks can enjoy the trails and have good access. Also, we want to make sure trees, there are trees that die off from different things, so we want to make sure they are pruned and or removed and avoid any potential hazardous scenario of one failing or falling or branch falling or what have you. Yeah, just to respect them. Tread on them lightly. You can obviously walk around. You can go off the trail even a little bit, but no motorized vehicles, try to avoid, removing plant material. If you see some of the preserves do have features like apple trees. For example, Northwood Preserve, Maple View Preserve has a nice crop of wild hazelnuts. So if folks want to grab a couple of them, they may, but just try to respect the land and remember for wildlife and for other residents. In a city like Andover, a growing city, to have 4 preserves like this, it's a great opportunity to get out in nature and enjoy and get some exercise as well.
Hey, welcome back to Andover's Live and Local here on QCTV. I am joined by someone, a department I had no idea that we had here in Andover. Girish Upriti is the director of, I believe, the coordinator of the GIS program. Girish, well, thanks so much for being part of the program today. You have to explain to the city what is a GIS and,
Sure.
and what is your job when you're here.
Sure. Well, thank you. First of all, thanks for having me over. My first time. It's great being here. And GIS stands for Geographic Information Systems, right? So anything with location, you can think about it, right? So, for example, parcel data set. For here, we're in the Courtyards by Marriott's right now. This is a commercial building with its own, ownership information. All that stuff is tied together. So the other stuff is anything that's utilities, like water, sewer, storm that's coming out of your streets or street center lines. Those are all GIS. So anything that has to do with any location within the city is tied to GIS. So, and one common example that a lot of people can relate to is maps. So if you were walking around on our amazing trail system in Andover, you might see a "You Are Here" sign showing you roughly where you are and the trail. And that's all done on GIS. So a lot of times people associate GIS with making maps, right? Which is a great tool to, for visual communication. But the way somebody said it, and it really stuck with me, was GIS is it's a way of thinking. So I couldn't agree more. So yeah.
Well, that's great. How does someone, or how did you more specifically, get into GIS?
I stumbled upon it. So I took a class at college, and I just learned a little bit there, and I went to work for a consulting firm. I learned slightly more over there, and then I went to work for a city, and it just like builds on its own, right? So there are programs that you can go through, just GIS specific programs that technical community colleges have it, universities have it, and you can get that route and then start a GIS position as well. So the big thing is be willing to learn as you go. That's a big part of it, because there will be it's a technology sector, so it's going to be changing rapidly, constantly. So there will be new stuff coming out. So just being open to learning and figuring things out is a great way to get into this field of GIS.
Well, that's great. And you've been working for the City of Andover. I think we had mentioned off camera that you were in North Dakota working in West Fargo, which is an ever expanding community, not unlike where Andover is, maybe a little bit different in what they're building, but it's still a similar size, I would imagine. But talk about a little bit about how long you've been here in Andover, and what kind of things have changed, and what you're kind of working on.
I've been here for almost 4 years now. So I started this August will be my 4th anniversary working at Andover, and primarily what I've been focused on is providing support for GIS for the city. So GIS helps decision makers make better decisions. So you kind of lay it out for them, and they can take it from there. So I've been focused primarily on that, and in addition to that, rolling out new stuff. So we just recently rolled out a new mapping system for the city. That's been a big part of the project, and the other stuff is public notification, public communication. So that's been a huge part of what I've done so far.
You coordinate probably with just about every department here. What? Tell us how does things get to your desk?
I work with every single department, and that is probably one of my favorite things about this job, is working with multiple departments. And the way it, as I was mentioning earlier, like it's all location based, right? If there is a water hydrant being on this area and there is a fire department that needs to access that hydrant and they want to know where it's at, what's the capacity of it, and when was the last time it was flushed, everybody talks to it. So GIS is like a central system. They can all talk to each other. They can access that information using that. And, even like you wouldn't think, but even like finance department, engineering for sure heavily uses GIS, and public works uses a lot of GIS for mapping and fieldwork stuff. So that's probably one of my favorite part of this job is working with these different departments and expanding my knowledge. Because a lot of times I don't know what they do and they don't know what I do. So it takes like talking to them, figuring things out, and see how GIS can be a good value proposition for them.
So we have a new development going in the Evanston Farm area, back behind, in between, like Round Lake, and there's a large.
Yes.
When do you step in and be part of that?
Yep. I have been a little bit helping out with that project as well. We had a big mailing campaign recently done, and I work with planning department to get together the mailing. The ownership information. You said you live close by. You might have gotten a mail for that.
I
too.
did.
So,
yep.
So that's the other thing. Like, if we want to notify the current resident about the project, or do you want to notify the owners about the project, we could do that, right? So, and very minimally involved with that project so far. But I'm sure as we progress along with that, I'll be involved slightly more. So.
Yeah. So civil, your commercial, your residential, you're all over the place with pretty much every mapping piece in Andover. When a business comes in and you start working with that business and they want to expand, do they call on you at all during that time? Is that some of that, or?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. Okay.
Usually they go through our planning and economic development department, and then they communicate with me, but not primarily me. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Good. What's you mentioned your favorite part is working with the rest of the departments. What are some other things that you really enjoy about working here in Andover?
GIS-wise, what I really enjoy is GIS is a great tool for public communication. Visual data visualization, explaining things to general public. So, in this case, would be, a lot of our viewers that we have on our website. For example, we have annual street construction projects going on. So we have everything listed for 2025 on our website viewer that shows what project, what neighborhood is being done, what kind of street reconstruction or mill and overlay project that it's being done. People can search the addresses, zoom right in, and then see what is being done in their neighborhood, if there is any project going on, right? And the other one that I really enjoyed, and I kind of build it up looking at an example from one of my peers in Hennepin County, one of the cities that he has done it. He did a great job, and it was for garage sale that we have, our annual garage sale that happens every year. And we used to have a paper map, and the president would come and take it. So last year we tested a little bit out, and then we expanded to an online viewer, so people can open it up, they can search for the ad, they can see where all the garage sales are happening, and they can see what days they are being done. Somebody's doing like Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, somebody's doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so it kind of filters it out. And even we added categories. I believe we have 5 categories. We're probably expanding it to like 7 next year. So we added the categories so you can see, like, for example, if you're interested in sporting goods, you can just filter the people that are hosting garage sales that are selling sporting goods. I have 2 little babies. I might be interested in some kid stuff, right? Little baby stuff. So I could filter those things out and then see which houses are hosting those garage sales and when they are happening. So.
Wow, that's impressive. I went on the website. It is a completely underutilized and unknown site, and the work that you've done there is incredible. So if you get the chance to go to the City of Andover site, it's under GIS, and the information is fantastic with that. So great. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about with or share with the community?
Well, we are constantly upgrading. We're constantly, trying to make things better, and our goal is to have a very effective communication to our residents, and GIS comes in really handy. And we had not recently, but in the past, we've had our water system pressure gone, and like a lack of water pressure, and then we had to like shut water down, and then that was an emergency situation. Everybody got together, fire department, engineering, everybody, and we communicated with different resources for residents. So the goal is to use it to bring value for the city residents. So we'll be constantly exploring, and it's an evolving technology. It will be changing all the time, and we'll be constantly exploring and trying to see what we can do better.
So you've got projects on the horizon, and really, for those of you who have not gone to the website again or been part of this, this is a part of Andover that is really a benefit for our residents. And Garish, I certainly appreciate you being part of today.
Thank you so much.
On Live and Local.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So summer means that we have mosquitoes, and Jason Baumach was talking about how the mosquitoes will come out because it's that kind of moisture and heat that we have going on, and some standing water out there. And he mentioned the Metropolitan Mosquito Control District, and they have been around and flying over Andover. I've seen the helicopters myself. It is happening, and it will continue to happen. And we were able to tag along with them recently, and we'll show you what it's like right now.
It's a bird. It's a plane. Well, kinda. It's actually a drone, and it's taking on the task of getting rid of something that flies. Not a bird, but instead, mosquitoes. We met up with the folks from the Metropolitan Mosquito Control District to learn more about these perennial pests and the technology that they use to treat wetlands throughout Andover.
Yeah, so we're a government organization that serves the 7 counties in the metro area. Our main focus is surveillance and control of mosquitoes, but we also do monitoring of ticks, and we control black flies throughout the Twin Cities as well. So our main focus is public health, making sure we're protecting people from those few species of mosquitoes that can vector diseases, but we also want to make sure that people are enjoying their time outdoors and not being overwhelmed by biting insects that'll ruin their summer evenings. So each site, we have a different type of designation to it. Some of them we treat every time it rains. So every time we get a significant amount of rain, we'll check it to see if the larva developed, and then we'll come back and treat it. Other ones we treat somewhat regularly because we know they regularly produce mosquitoes. And then other ones, certain species only come out once per year. And so we'll check those sites to see, maybe they need to be treated just in the spring, and then that's it. So we kind of know what types of mosquitoes are in the different types of wetlands and water holding areas, and that determines when we treat. But we have staff on the ground every day of the week, at least doing some surveillance and checking to see what's developing. And our helicopters are out pretty regularly during the season, so people are definitely going to see us. Well, actually, there's over 50 species of mosquitoes in Minnesota, and not all of them bite humans. So first we go out and make sure that we're finding the species that are going to be most harmful to people, whether they're disease vectors or high annoyance species that will really focus on large mammals like people. And then we go out and we either use helicopters, or we do by hand, or as you'll see today, we use our drones, and we go and we apply a dry granule to the water. And most of the products have a bacteria in it that the larvae then ingest, and it kills them when they're in the larval stage. But it's really safe for other animals and people and pets and other insects. So it's a very controlled, very targeted way to control mosquitoes.
Speaking of those drones, we met up with Rosa Mueller and her team to watch a drone treatment in action.
So this is a T25 drone from DJI. It can hold about 30 to 40 pounds of material, so it's pretty big. It's got 4 propellers on it. Our Maple Grove shop has a T30 that's got 6 propellers on it, so that one's a little bit bigger. So we can treat usually about up to like an 11-acre site with these drones. It's got cameras on it that are just to help the technicians see where the drone is treating. So it's not recording anything around it. Some people get a little nervous when they see drones with cameras, but it's just to make sure that we can see the material coming out of it and they can see obstacles that are around the drone. Last year we only had 1 drone at our shop. We have 2 this year, and now all of our field offices are also running with drones. They're really helpful for sites that are a little too dangerous for technicians to be treating, and then sites that are a little too small for the helicopter to get a really good treatment in. So it's kind of that like Goldilocks perfect in between. We do a lot of great work with it, and we've got a lot of people that are dedicated to keep it going and increasing the program.
In the land of 10,000 lakes, eliminating mosquitoes seems like an impossible task, but Metropolitan Mosquito Control District is up to the challenge.
We have over 80,000 habitats mapped out that we check, throughout the season. Could be anything from the size of a small roadside ditch or a culvert all the way to a several acre-sized wetland. So the different size determines what approach we take, whether it's small hand applications or getting our helicopters out and doing widespread applications for the very large wetlands. So anything that holds shallow, stagnant water can produce mosquito larvae. So they don't develop in large lakes or open water on ponds and things like that. It tends to be, shallow wetlands, marshes, shallow, stagnant ponds and pools and things like that.
If you notice an overabundance of biting bugs in your yard, there's steps you can take to make spending time outside more enjoyable.
First of all, I always encourage people to call us because it might be a wetland that we're already monitoring or we have the ability to monitor. So we could be able to go and take care of that for them. But if it's an area that's just, like a small area you have in their yard, you want to get it's the BTI is the main active ingredient, or you can buy mosquito dunks or mosquito pellets. They have different, lengths of time that they're active, but you can buy them at just about any store, and that'll take care of the mosquito larvae. People also have a lot of other things like rain barrels or decorative ponds in their yards and things like that. So anything that doesn't let the water stagnate or keeps the water fresh, and then in the case of like rain barrel, putting a screen on it, keeping the mosquitoes from flying in, just little steps like that can really help out.
So the next time you're soaking up that Minnesota summer sun and aren't bothered by a mosquito's whirring buzz, be sure to thank MMCD and maybe give a wave to their helicopters.
We have a lot of people in Anoka County that like having us out here, so it's always good to talk to the public and see that they appreciate what we're doing and educate them if they have questions on what we're doing.
As we wrap up back here at the Courtyards of Andover, we've got some community events coming up, and one of them is coming up on July 11th and 12th, and that's the Andover Family Fun Fest. Once again, no parade this year, but we will have, of course, a weekend packed of music, trucks, craft fairs, games, a 5K, and it's all available on the website for Andover, City of Andover, and on the Facebook page called Andover Family Fun Fest. Lots of fun coming up on July 11th and 12th. Also, August 1st, we have the full screen. We have a full screen movie coming out. It will be the Minecraft movie. It will be at Sunshine Park. It'll be on Friday. We've got to wait till it gets a little bit darker before we do it. And as we just found out, the mosquitoes will be sprayed and they're gone. Should be an excellent time. Movies at the park, sponsored by Avian. And if you would, consider bringing a non-perishable food donation to the ACBC food shelf as a donation for the movie, and that helps out obviously some food insecure folks. Also coming out, just a reminder, all through till October 28th will be the Farmers Market. That is located at the Riverdale Church. It's every Tuesday. It's a fantastic place. If you haven't been there, it's fantastic. It has outstanding food, all wholesome. They've got popcorn. They've got homemade bakery items. It's a great place to go. Farmers Market every Tuesday at Andover at the Riverdale Church. Also, we've got the Chipotle that has just opened up at the Clock Tower Plaza. Go see Patricia. She's the general manager over there. She's done a fantastic job. It's going very smoothly. The lines aren't too long, and if they are, they're getting them in quick and very quick, and the food has been tremendous. So look for Patricia over at the Chipotle. She's the general manager, and then we'll look at coming up next will be Starbucks as that finishes up construction and will be opening soon. Of course, stay active in at the Andover Community Center. We do have they still have a walking track available. Lots of projects, lots of fun stuff going on through the summer as we go. And of course, the last thing is make sure that we're going over to the nature preserves. And if you've got some time, you want to do some hiking, the green spaces in Andover are outstanding. We want to thank you and thank the Courtyards of Andover. Once again, they've got a great special going on right now for their UDE packaged meals. They are available at the website if you go to Courtyards Andover Courtyards, and we'll be there. I want to thank Leslie Sauer for a great job. Ryan, the mobile truck producer, and the rest of the staff. What a great job. We had Chief Jones here, Frank Panzer from the Courtyards of Andover, along with Jason Baumunk, and the department that I want you to go check out, which is the GIS. That's with Garish Uprity. So thanks so much for being part of Andover's Live and Local here on QCTV. Have a great summer.